I'm here with Kerr, and she has brought these really cool 3D pendants.
That's right.
They really just
pop out at you.
I was going to say, it's boom, pop. So, and if we take a peek, it's all different colors, different images. A lot of them are faces, but you'll also have a shell, all sorts of stuff. So let's get this party started.
Okay, so today we're making the bezels, and I'm going to be using an open back bezel. So I went ahead and
an open back bezel is just a bezel that doesn't have anything behind it, obviously.
Right. So if you have a closed bezel, you don't even need the tape. And so I just added some tape to it, and then I put a resin piece right in the center there. And so I'm going to go ahead and take 2 equal parts of casting resin. I've already got one out there, so I'm going to go ahead and pour the second one. And
now, casting resins are obviously used, I assume, for making things like this face, which you just said was cast.
That's right. You can make your own designs and cast pieces. So there you go. And then I'm just going to mix them together.
And you're just eyeballing the 2 equal parts. Of course, if you used a measuring cup, you could mix them in the same cup instead. And as an extra precaution, we're also working on top of a piece of waxed paper.
Right. Yep.
So now that clear packing tape that's under there, could you use a different kind of tape, or does it have to be packing tape?
Well, I've only used the packing tape. It's really just to make sure it doesn't spill out on you. And you see,
that's why, because it's sticky. That's why you're not putting a piece of paper under there.
And so I'm using the popsicle stick to kind of guide the resin so that I don't just pour it and then it spills all over the place. And so I'll just let that cure. It's white right now, but when it cures in about 10 minutes, it turns white.
I was gonna say it's clear right now, but it's about to turn.
It is. It turns super white here.
Which is how you know it's dry, I assume.
That's right. It's rock hard there. And so I'm going to prepare this surface.
It's so cool how it looks like it's like
embedded.
melting.
Yeah. And so I'm going to take some of this steel wool, and I'm just going to scratch it, and I'm going to scratch that relic piece there.
Are you worried at all about scratching off the features?
No, the resin is really hard. It's not going to damage it at all. And so I've used the steel wool, and now I'm going to prep the surface with some gesso.
And gesso is just a primer that's going to help paint stick later.
That's right.
And this is a great idea. I was thinking, because I was wondering why you didn't put like dye or something directly into the resin, but this is a great way if you have leftover like pieces and castings and you can get them to meld with something else by painting the whole surface at once. It looks like a single piece.
That's right, that's right. And so I'll add that layer of gesso, and then I'll let it dry, and I'll go ahead and add some paint to it. And so I normally like to just use 2 colors, and I'll start with the lighter color, and then I'll add some of the darker color. And it's really, it's up to you however you want to go ahead and add the color. And I'll just go ahead and put this aside. A lot of times I do like to add an additional coat just to make those colors really pop, and then I'll put it aside to dry. And that's what it looks like. And so I really want to kind of bring it up a notch. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to add some rub-ons to it. I will just take a rub-on, I'll take a popsicle stick.
And rub-ons you can get text, you can get images, you can get all kinds of stuff. And the nice thing about them is they are pretty seamless in terms of how they appear, as opposed to like a sticker or anything like that. If you didn't have a rub-on, you could probably draw with a permanent pen, I'm guessing, since it's on top of paint.
Not all of it
that would make sense. Whatever embellish you want. And of course, you can take a black pen and finish that off.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have a black pen, but if we did, we just go ahead and finish that off, and it would look a little bit more, I think, like this one that you have right here, where you finish the dots and the word looks fantastic.
That's right. And so to finish it off, I'm going to go ahead and take some clear resin, and I do need 2 equal parts. I've already poured one, and so I'm just going to go ahead and pour the other one.
Now this one, both halves are more of a sort of similar color than the last one.
Yeah.
And you said that that's because this is a clear resin as opposed to a casting resin.
That's right.
You have to sort of know the differences between your resins and what the purposes are for them.
That's right. Absolutely.
And is this just like a finishing touch?
It is. It just really completes the piece. And I'll go ahead and just add it to the top of my pendant. And I like to have a little bit of control, so I'll go ahead and mix it together. And then I'll just use the popsicle stick.
And normally you would mix that for about 2 minutes, right? To really get it going. Now, are you worried about it slipping off the edge of the bezel when you add it.
Not if I'm using the popsicle stick, or you can also just use a brush, a disposable brush.
You just dropped a sparkle
I
in there.
did. I made it happy, and then I would just cover the whole thing, add a couple of little confetti stars, let it cure, and then it comes out looking like this. And so this piece is just completely finished, and I had to add a little piece of resin sheet, which we made.
I remember. I was going to say, last season, you'll recall, the cat was here, and she showed us how to make these amazing texture sheets out of resin.
That's right.
And if we look over at some of the finished pieces that you brought with you, there's just so much you can do. I can see this is a similar painting technique to we use, but the one that's there, it's a little bit different.
It's got some crackle medium in there, a little bit more aging look. And you can also do the same exact technique in a shadow box, and you're just pouring the resin into the shadow box, and it's the same exact look. So.
And I was going to say, I thought this was a real shell, and you told me that it's actually a resin casting.
Right.
That's really cool. So many possibilities for ways of making 3D art. I love it. Thank you, Kat.